Smile a while and give your face a rest. Raise your hands to the one you love the best. Then shake hands with those nearby and greet them with a smile. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my beautiful people. Mwah! Morning to you all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know how I just suddenly decided to sing that song. I mean, I'm there waiting on the live to actually say start, and I'm smiling and I'm looking, oh God, I hope it doesn't seem very, fake and false and not real. And then the Smile a While song just came to my mind, and I just said, you know what? Let me just introduce instead of the usual good morning, my beautiful people, and and the usual cliche terms that I may use when I'm greeting everyone and everything. It is important to smile. It makes you look beautiful. It makes you look handsome. Nothing like, when you greet some people and you go near to them and they're smiling when they're talking with you, a genuine, heartfelt, compassionate smile, as if I'm interested in listening to you. I'm interested in talking to you. I'm interested in talking with you. I'm interested in conversing with you, having a conversation with you. And you just smile. I like that. I have two friends that I know like that. When they see you, you feel comfortable talking with them. They just, Anselm, Brazil? No, I'm from Jamaica. No, I'm from Jamaica. I'm not from St. Vincent. It's a funny thing. Everywhere I go, if I travel, I'm asked the question if I'm from Europe, if I'm from England, if I'm from the United States. I've never been asked if I'm from Jamaica, unless you know that I'm Jamaican, living in Jamaica. I don't know, and I know I have my Jamaican accent. It there. It there, my friend. Definitely Jamaica. Born and bred and raised in Jamaica. Anselm, Brazil. No, I'm not from St. Vincent. But I'm on this platform today, because as much as I can, I ask God to give me an inspiring message. Like me any preacher, eh? But anywho, and today I was among some beautiful people, men and women, and we were talking and having some tea. Thank you, Ansel, Brazil, much appreciated. Thank you. And we were drinking some tea and we were talking, and two guys that comes, that generally comes, some mornings to have tea, and we talk and we chat and to lift each other and to inspire each other. That is important, people. Not only the food that you eat. It is important that daily prayer is key, reading your Bible is key every single day, but it is important that daily you have the conversations with people who are significant. Okay, you have to create that balance in your life. Yes, I've been to Trinidad. Is it twice? I may have been to Trinidad twice. And so I've been to Trinidad twice, and it was good. My experience was actually good when I went. And I never forgot. Now, these two men, our Jamaican people have always said them bad. You know what I mean? Them love a lot of women. When they say women, hey Barry, what's up? I hope you're good. I'm good. These two men I know in particular, yes, me I got swear for them. Yes, me I got put my neck on the block for them. Yes, because sometimes I've always said, boy, I'm not swear for nobody at all. But I mean, I understand the concept. I mean, we're all flawed beings and we all can make mistakes. But you know what? We need to lift and big each other up. We need to, highlight the strengths in persons, because no matter what, we are not all bad. There are some things that we will hold steadfast to, will hold fervent to. And I know that these men are straight, meaning they're heterosexuals. They're not homosexuals. They love women in terms of a romantic way. They will date women, marry women only. But he did something today that moved me. It is something that I've often said that would have actually reduced a number of these young men who struggle with their own identity, who struggle with their own sexuality. So in other words, and let me inject this, that is why God created mother and father. So when you have your children, mother and father, fathers, you will have your sons. You need to tell your sons that you love them. And he said, you know, he was talking about his friendship with the guy. The two of them, they were there. And he was saying, you know what? I love you, Chris. And, you know, when he said it, it moved another lady, a friend of mine. She's married now. And she said, oh, my God. When he said it, you could feel the heartfelt, the warmth in that. And it was... When he said it, I'm like, wow. I said, I'm so proud of you. I actually have a newfound found respect for you, Gary, because a number of Jamaican men have been socialized. I understand that, you know, this side of the world, they always say the bad slaves remained here, the rebellious type of slaves, or a lot of the slaves were buggered, you know, and they're so angry. So anything that would seem homosexual, they're afraid. So they don't, Jamaican men are afraid to say to their male friends, I love you. In a healthy fashion, obviously I'm talking about. But that's necessary. God created us that way. I'm thinking about David in the Bible. Oh my God. God did have a special love for David, man. Sometimes I wonder if God did love him more than everybody else in the Bible. Even more than Abraham and Moses. I mean, the way how the Bible spoke, God spoke about loving David. I think because David really was a good man, you know, in spite of his mistakes. And I know people think about on the Bathsheba situation. No, you know, he even did one with a census and all of that. So David wasn't a perfect man, but you know what? He was a good man. He had a compassionate heart. I think that is why God really spoke about him so much and honored him so much. And he had a love, you know, in 1 Samuel chapter 18, the first verse, I think it is, or the second verse. It said, you know, I guess after David would have defeated Goliath, you know, and the news would have spread, it would have been, you know, it would have went viral. And, hey, Mark, you know, what's up? And it went viral. And Saul welcomed David into his home, you know, his children, and I guess Saul would have been married and all of that, or and have his concubines and wives and everyone. And it said when Jonathan saw him, Jonathan loved him. Because, you know, some people, as you see them, your spirit connect. Even me as a female, you know, I'm a straight person, you know, as Jamaicans would say, straight, you know, heterosexual, you know. But there are females that you see, you admire, you respect, you have that love feeling, that, you know, that affectionate feeling in a healthy fashion. And when Jonathan saw David, and I guess the vice versa, they connected, that kinship spirit. It's like deeper than a brother. The Bible say, you know, a friend sticks closer than a brother. And it said right away their spirit became one, and they loved each other as they loved themselves. And let me back it up with St. Matthew 22, I think 37 and 39. You know, where the commandment says, when Jesus was saying, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. So David was following the principles of God. He was following the principles of God. It's so funny that that love he had for Jonathan, and yet the father was so jealous of him. And further down in that chapter, it said Micah, which is Saul's daughter, saw David and absolutely fell in love with David, and they got married and all of that. So it was a healthy love. It wasn't a love that was twisted and queer and what some people might try to say. No, David did what God asked him to do. He loved his friend as how he loved himself. So when he said that he loved him more than that of women, he wasn't talking about loving them like, you know, he'll go to him over a woman. No, in a romantic way or in a sexual way. What he was saying is, brethren, come on. You might have a good friend. You know, man and man, and have a good friend. And you might go somewhere, and the two of you see a lady that two of you attracted to and you like. And you realize one seemed to take on to the lady a little bit more than the other. And, you know, you realize that your friendship is going to take precedence over the two of you fighting over that girl. You might say to your friend, when you realize, each of you will realize which of the two likes the girl a little bit more. You might say, you know what, my friend, go on with that, go on. Because my friendship to you matters. You're not going to make a woman, or you might be dating somebody you don't want to. And, you know, sometimes you may have some women who don't understand, and they come and they try to create mayhem in the friendship that was there how long ago. You're not going to destroy your friendship because of this woman, you know. So these are the things and more that I'm talking about. You need to tell each other also. It has to go further than that. You need to tell each other that you love each other. Paul, the New Testament says, greet each other with a holy hug and a holy kiss. For example, in the Middle Eastern society, you know, like you go in Iraq and Iran and those areas, you know, those, what you call them again? Chic looking men. Taliban. I don't really want to say Taliban. I don't even know how to describe them. I want to give them the right. And they have the thing on the turban thing on the head and the white chic thing looking like. And you know, you notice how the men are. When there's a man, they're doing it to a woman, they go and they kiss on the two sides. Whether they touch each other's face or not. But I'm saying it's almost like they're greeting you with a holy hug and a holy kiss. They're following the scriptures about that. It is healthy. God created us to do that. Men, nothing is wrong if you tell your friends that you love them. I'm talking specifically Jamaican men. I see American men do it. I'm not sure if I see European men do it. But I've seen where a lot of, they say, I love you, man. And it's heartfelt. It's heartwarming. It's not unhealthy. It doesn't mean that you're a B man. I don't want to say the word, you know, on the platform right now. Because, you know, you have different persons watching. So I have to be respectful of everybody. It doesn't mean that you're homosexual. If you say to your male friend, I love you and I respect you. You know that you're doing it in a healthy fashion. You're doing it in a godly fashion. And by the way, fathers in particular, when you do that with your sons, you would have affirmed them that you love them in a healthy way, in a godly way, in a fatherly way, so that they grow up older. And this is what they will pass on to their own sons and not get it twisted. And not get it twisted. A lack of telling your son that you love them, you know, sometimes contribute to the problems that we have faced across the world. The sexual deviances, you know, it has contributed to it greatly because there is that longing inside of the man, the male one, to hear a male say to them or say to him, I love you. And it's it should be in a healthy fashion. Nothing is wrong with that. God created that. If that were the case, the Bible, when God would have given us the 10 commandments, he would have gone down to the nitty-gritty. Okay, love your neighbor as yourself, but only a man should love the woman that way. It would be, and that is ridiculous. I, as a female, there are females that I admire and I love dearly. And I tell them, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I tell people that every single day that God gives me on this earth, I am going to scatter roses. Whether it is to a man, to a woman. These days I find that I love animals a lot now. I have to have a dog. If you have a dog, I say, doggy, I love you. You stay there. Because obviously, you know, I'm categorizing each individual and each you know, being that I'm dealing with. Jamaican men, I encourage you, tell your friends that you love them. I'm not saying that every day going, I love you. Look, come on. You can say it. I love. When the guy said it today, it's almost like a, what should I say? What you call it when the two of you say the same thing at the same time? It's like minds and like hearts. Like the lady and I, she said, oh, that was so sweet. That was so sweet. Because we have grown up, and I said I can understand because of the history of Jamaica. You know, that in Jamaica, back in those days, maybe a lot of them have been buggered, treated badly in a sexual way by, you know, Bakra Master and all of these things. But we have to hurdle a lot of these things, people. We really have to be set free mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, in every way. A lady said something to me and it has left an indelible mark on me. For some reason, I'm saying every single time I'm going to say it until it becomes, you know, almost gospel, you know. She said, we learn, we're in the era where we learn, where we unlearn, and where we relearn. So not because you learned a particular behavior or you have a particular mindset for 20, 40, 50, 100 years. If today you decide to make the change for the better and transform for the better, do it. You don't have to hold. We're adaptable beings. That's one thing with us human beings. We're adaptable. For example, if persons, you may go somewhere, you end up in the forest or the jungle, maybe for a few days, you're going to have to survive. We are adaptable beings. So we're not fixated and stuck in one era. You know, we're not like, for example, even animals who are, you know, instinctive beings. You know, the lion sees the deer or one of those animals that they went to chase after it to get food. You know, we know how to operate in a more sensible fashion because God gave us more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, obviously, than those type of mammals and animals. You follow? So my Jamaican men, please, let us heal our land in every way that we can. with God's help. It is godly. It is okay to tell your male friends as a man, you love them. You can tell them. You can hug them in a very friendly, brotherly way, very emotional. It must have that compassion. It must have that affection. It must have that love. It is healthy. You notice us ladies, we're free. Maybe that's why we saw, mind you, obviously we're made differently, but nothing is wrong with that. Not one single solitary thing is wrong with that. Don't make any ghost fool you or dopey fool you or anybody fool you. It is not unhealthy. It's not a gay thing. It's not a B-man thing. It's not, a homosexual thing. It is a healthy thing. Fathers, you need to tell your sons that you love them. Tell them, let them feel that, because there is that, just as how there is that God spot where we need God's love. That is key. That is important. That is why sometimes people wonder what's wrong with them. They have all the money. They have all the this. They're married and they're still not satisfied, because there's that God spot where they need God. There is that mother spot where you need your mother. You need your mother to tell you that she loves you. There is that father spot where you need your father to tell you that he loves you. I'm talking for men, because men, and that is why maybe we have a lot of aggressive men in Jamaica, especially. Remember, people, I'm going to deal with my country. This is where I live. I want my country to heal and to get better. You understand? Not one single solitary thing wrong with that. Fathers, tell your sons that you love them. If you have your good male friends, and is a good, one of the guys today shared what had happened to him. He said, unfortunately, he had got divorced, and him not going to speak ill of his ex-wife. And it got to him, it got to him. Maybe he was sad that his relationship had ended. And he didn't know what to do. He just decided to drive. He didn't even know where he was driving. Just drive at a particular location, and he called a friend. Maybe he thought he was losing his mind, and said to the friend, my wife basically threw me out and what have you. The friend said, come. And he stayed with his friend for 6 years. The friend put him up. And I guess after, as a man, you want your own place and you want to start your life over again, especially if you found somebody else to get married to and all of that. You want to start, so you don't want to just stay there. But he could, and I said, what? A friend put you up? That's why sometimes people be careful how you pass judgments. You might see a man living at another man's house. You can't just assume that, they may be involved sexually. Come on, people. We need our minds. It need to be renewed in Christ Jesus. We need to be careful of these things, because sometimes even me, it might affect it, because we've been socialized into so much negativity. Even if everything is good, we see it negative, and our minds think the worst possible situation. And his friend put him up for six years. 6 years. Some people can't even stay with for a week or two. Them starter, you can see that they want to throw you out. They want to throw you out. 6 years his male friend put him up for. And his friend needed, and the time passes, and his friend needed some money for something, and he just gave it to the friend. That's how they live. They live, like people say brothers, but really friend, if you check the etymology of friendship, it's really deeper than even a brother. That's why Jesus said a friend sticks closer than a brother. That's how deep friendship is. Sometimes when I hear people say, it's my friend, we have to look at, I don't think we understand the etymology, the origin of what friendship is. David and Jonathan, they epitomized that in a healthy fashion, in a straight fashion, if you want me to say it that way. Because, trust me, David did bad as yours, and he would be a very odd gay man if he was that way. Think about it, people. The man is married to how many wives and have how many concubines. And before him go up on him mission and all of that, him turn home and idle and all of that. And when him step down and look down in balcony and say this a beauty, him say him have to have this a beauty by the hook or the crook. And he did. He might set up a husband for dead. He would be a very odd game. And think about it, people. So when we hear things, we must think carefully before we run with it. Just use a little wisdom and wit. And analyze things. Don't just run with it because you hear it and it sounds good and plausible. Because you see the person say, I love them that more than women. He's talking about he's loving the man as how he loves himself. So he says to him, that is why the Bible says, love each other as yourself. Love each other as your own selves. So he knows that Jonathan likes that girl. He's not going to go to that girl. He's not going to interfere in that. Or I'm not going to make a lady come and mash up them friendship. No. So you have to choose wisely. Choose your partners wisely. Choose your friends wisely. And pray for people. Don't discard people. Because sometimes, as I said, most of us are broken people. Most of us need help. Mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, financially, every alley and aisle. that you can think of. But men, please, not one thing is wrong with telling each other that you love them as men. Affirm each other. It is healthy. It helps to reduce sexual deviances and, you know, those types of things. Please. That's how God created us. Balanced living. If that were the case, God would have just make, for example, mothers have only boys and just make the mother and the boy live. And the father somehow get a girl pregnant and has have daughters. Come on, people. God is an intelligent God, you know. God is an intelligent God. He's an intelligent God. Please understand that he's an intelligent God. And I want you to meditate on that God is an intelligent God. Tell your male friends that you love them in a healthy fashion, in a platonic fashion. Tell them nothing is wrong with that, and you hug your friend and say, my friend, you are good for you. You've been a great friend to me. Nothing is wrong with that. I will tell, I mean, me I'm a huggy, kissy person. I know some people don't like it, so I have to be very careful, you know? And I know we're living in this particular pandemic right now. But when things are back to normal, there will be one day. We'll wait. We can be patient, you know? I will scatter roses in my words and in my deeds. I'm not going to be afraid to say I love you to a female in a healthy way. I'm not going to be afraid of doing it. So if you want to think this and think that, that is your prerogative. You understand me? Me love you same way. And all you too, me love. So all when you say this and say, me love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you with the love of God. All right? So my male Jamaican friends, tell each other that you love them. It is healthy. It is okay. It is good. Once it is under the guise, under the principles of the Bible, you are fine. Not a thing is wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you have gone queer. It doesn't mean that it is gay or homosexual or anything like that. That is ridiculous. God created a mother and father, and he has male children. Come on. Let's think, just that's why I say God is intelligent. And you know, he said the wisdom that let's ask God for even a close wisdom as how he had granted Solomon. Let us use wisdom in everything that we do, that we execute, that we say, and when we think about it. And don't be quick to judge. Don't be quick to come up with an answer right away like that. Think it through. I'm learning that. It's sometimes not easy. You know, sometimes we're quick to, and we say, no, we have to pull back a little bit and say, wait, let me analyze this thing a little bit more. And don't be overly analytic or overthink. Balance. Everything we create some balance. And pray. Pray every single day. Read your Bible every single day. And you grow, grow, grow. But seriously, my Jamaican men, tell your other Jamaican friends, if you know that man is your friend, a good friend of yours, in a healthy way, a non-sexual way, you tell him that you love him, and where you can help, you help, and you cherish that friendship till death do you part, as they would say. You cherish it. Love each other as you would love your own selves. That's what David and Jonathan did. It was a non-sexual healthy friendship they had. Non-sexual healthy friendship. You understand me? So much so that even after, you know, when Saul and Jonathan went to war, you know, and they died. You know, they died, and time had passed, and God restored, and you know, David again. And David said, is there anybody in the house of God? Must love David, you know. David says, is there anybody in the house of Saul that I can do good to? You remember, Saul chased David day and night to kill him because he was jealous of him. And David did nothing to harm him. David could have killed him at occasions and didn't, you know. He did good to Saul. Even when Saul was doing bad to him, he did not do him any wrong. When that evil spirit came upon Saul and tormented him, I don't know, you know, in what fashion it did to him, David would play the harp and soothe him. God must love a David. My God, he was a compassionate, a just, a fair man, a romantic man. No matter the women, they love him also. All Bathsheba. Jesus. Me can't understand. Honestly, me can't understand. And the Bible spoke about how he looked physically. That he was a handsome man. He's like a Denzel Washington. You're looking at, you know, gorgeous and godly. A good man. Not perfect. And you know what I loved about him too, David? He's my favorite Bible character, by the way. is that when he knew he was wrong, he didn't stay like how some men stay. I'm not trying to hit any man. Where his ego became and he was filled with pride. Oh, you're talking to? How dare you? And the king and whatnot. He humbled himself and said, oh my God, I've sinned against you, oh God, and only you I've sinned against. So, you know, to that effect. And he humbled himself. He was so sad. You know, he felt so bad about it. He was humble and he apologized. You know, I can understand why the Bible wrote, you know, that God just continuously, you know, he spoke about David. He spoke about David in so... I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and, you know, I was saying, boy, I know that God had a deep love for Abraham, Moses, Joseph, Daniel, the three Hebrew boys, and David. Boy, sometimes I wonder if David took the prize in terms of the love. I mean, you know, although God love is the same. I know it's the same, but boy, but I can understand why the Bible had to speak about David like that. He really was a good man. He had very, very good qualities. I can particularly understand. He had very good qualities. Big up to you, Garth. So my Jamaican men, again and again and again, I will keep saying it. Let it resonate in your heart, in your mind, and in your soul. You can love your fellow men, your fellow friends in a healthy way, in a non-sexual way, and you can tell them, tell your male friends that you love them. It is healthy, it is godly, it is good. Not one thing is wrong with that. I don't care how you were socialized. I don't care how your mindset was. You can change that. We're in the era where we learn, we unlearn, and we relearn. But the relearning must be for your betterment, for your growth, for your development, and the betterment of others. It must be a transformative change that is under the guise and under the tutelage of the Bible and of God. Jesus Christ is Lord of Lords. He's the King of Kings. He's a conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. All right, my beautiful people, I love you, I love you, I love you. I wish for you a fantastic, a fantabulous, a splendocious, a splendiferous, an epic day. May God's richest, choicest, finest, best, and wisest blessings in every way be upon you guys, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, sexually, emotionally, every single way. And don't give up on your friendships so easily. Please fight for your friendships, fight for your relationships. Husbands, don't give up on your wives. Wives, don't give up on your husbands. I'm not telling you to take abuse and somebody trying to kill you or destroy you, or, you know, no. Obviously, you have to use wisdom and seek wise counsel, godly counsel, but don't give up on each other. My beautiful people, please. Tired to see relationships, you know, go awry, you know, and be destroyed. That's what the enemy loves. Anything that is healthy and good, he loves when it's destroyed. But we're going to fight. We're going to fight to the very end. We're not going to give up. We're not going to quit. We're not going to cave in. Please. Love you, my beautiful people. Have a beautiful day. Stay blessed. Stay sweet. Take care. Have a great one. And God loves you most importantly.